India's fourth largest city, a population of 7 million plus, and rains the likes of which have never been seen in over a century. Chennai had just begun to get back to normal after massive rainfall and flooding in the first half of November, when on the last day of the month, it began to pour again. Water began to collect on the streets, in the alleyways, in ponds and canals, and inside people's homes. Chennai's worst nightmare was back in brutal force, as for the second time in quick succession, the capital of Tamil Nadu sank underwater.
Heavy rains continue to lash Tamil Nadu after a brief lull. The international airport witnessed waterlogging with knee-deep water on the tarmac.
Chennai rains are back, hitting hard, throwing normal out of gear once again. After a brief lull when people thought the worst was over, short spells of rain started on Sunday, only to increase by next day. Coastal Tamil Nadu has been worst hit. Chennai, Cuddalore, Kanchipuram bore the brunt of torrid rains.
No, it's good. It should rain, right? It should rain. The problem is roads construction is not proper. Otherwise, it should rain. Raining is not a bad thing, right? And it's not raining as if it's bad. It's fine. Rain should be there. It's a bit trouble, but it's fine.
No, I think this is our first time experience in Chennai for such a rain. The first thing is like the proper drainage system is not proper in Chennai, because of which a 1 hour heavy rain will also the waterlogging takes place. So the proper drainage system should be there.
Today we've had unfortunately almost 90 millimeters of rain in the past 6 hours. I think the problem is because we are getting huge amount of rainfall in the catchment areas outside the city, because of which most of our reservoirs have surplused and huge amount of water is now coming into our rivers, which is taking some time for the micro drainage to function.
Schools and colleges which reopened recently were shut down again. Many low-lying areas in Chennai had been waterlogged. Rain-related deaths mounted to over 180. The city's infrastructure started to crumble. Madhya Kailash in Chennai, which happens to be a locality where major IT companies are located, witnessed a major road cave-in.
The rain has damaged several roads in the city, and this is one important prime location in the city, which is called the Madhya Kailash, where the entire stretch of road has been caved in, because of which the police have barricaded the entire stretch and the traffic has been diverted. However, the authorities have been stating that they have been working towards working on this particular road where people have been pressed into service and adding to that, people are advised to take safer locations, and especially the entire stretch. If I can ask my camera person to pan in and show you, this particular road has been blocked. This is one of the important locations which connects to the IT park. In fact,
rains have set the price of vegetables on fire. Prices soared to near double. Met Department forecast was ominous, with heavy to very heavy rain for isolated parts of coastal Andhra Pradesh, coastal Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and interior Tamil Nadu until Friday. This is what India's fourth biggest city looked like on day 2. Worst rains in 100 years brought life in Chennai to a grinding halt.
This is called the Koturpuram area, and what you see behind me is actually the housing board quarters here. In fact, the water level has risen up to the second floor and people are all standing on the terrace. All of them panic stricken, they're unable to get out. In fact, the fire service has also come here to try and see if they could rescue all these people out. So massive flooding in this area, mainly because the Adyar river, which is close by here, is all flooding this entire stretch of Koturpuram area. And what you see there is also a temple that is here submerged in water. In fact, this is one of the most significant temples because that is one of the temples that the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha often visits. And let me actually go across to one such person here. Sir, உங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம் என்ன? எவ்வளவு தூரம் உங்க வீடு இங்க சப்மர்ஜ்?
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃப்ளோர் வரையும் ரொம்பிச்சு மேடம். கிரவுண்ட் ஃப்ளோர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃப்ளோர் வரையும் தண்ணி வந்துருக்குது. கிரவுண்ட் ஃப்ளோர் ஃபுல்லா ரொம்பிடுச்சு.
இதனால உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு பாதிப்பு?
பாதிப்பு குறைஞ்சபட்சம் காரு, பைக், வீடு எல்லாம் சேர்த்து ஒரு 3 ல 4 லட்சம் ரூபாய் மேல சாதாரண பாதிப்பு மேடம்.
கவர்மெண்ட் ஏதாவது ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா? இங்க எவ்வளவு தூரம் ஹெல்ப் உங்களுக்கு வந்திருக்கு?
ஆல்ரெடி 2 வெள்ளத்துக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணாங்க மேடம். இது திடீர்னு வந்ததுனால நைட்லாம் இருக்கும்போது அவ்வளோ தண்ணி இல்லை மேடம். ஒரு 3:30 அந்த டைமில் தான் திடீர்னு ஃபுல்லாக ஏறிச்சு.
So the losses have run up to at least about 4-5 lakhs, and remember, these people come from very low economic backgrounds. Their vehicles as well as the entire house and property are all submerged in water. Where will they really go? But they are saying that they are still hopeful that help would come their way, and they are still hopeful that Chennai would actually regain its lost glory. But let me actually give you a picture of this place. Knee depth water, and that is where we are standing. And if you go further down, you are definite to be submerged completely in water. So this is actually a slopey area, so as you descend you are completely submerged in the water, and that's the picture. People are worried that there would be leeches as well as snakes and insects that would be crawling inside this electrical wires as well. Let me actually give you a picture of the electrical pole there right across at this end, which is also in water. So people are fearing that there could also be a possibility of electrocution. So when will Chennai actually regain its lost glory? When will they actually come out of this sinking deep trouble that Chennai is reeling in?
It's a bad news for Chennaiites, even as the Met Department has forecast that heavy rains will continue to lash Chennai for the next 24 hours, and of course the coastal Tamil Nadu, Kadalur and Puducherry will also receive heavy to very heavy rainfall, and people have been asked to stay indoors. We are standing right now at North Chennai in Tirupalli Street, where people are forced to walk in the knee-deep water as the stormwater drain is not effective, and people living in the nearby areas are unable to go to the hospitals as hospitals have been shut. The primary healthcare centers have not been functional in this particular area. If I can ask the residents of this particular area, so what are the problems that you're facing here?
5 to 6 feet water is there, no water, no milk, no electricity. What to do? We are not able to understand all the things.
Right, so the basic amenities is not been available for them. So what do you think, where did the authorities go wrong? Because this is not the first time we are seeing such usually. Last week as well a similar thing happened.
The authorities are not giving proper answer. Even we have complained lot of things. Last week also, before 10 days, 1 week rain has come. At that time we have complained to make that drainage clean. At that time, whatever help from all residents people, we are ready to help them also. But those not proper giving any answers. We are ready to help them also. We are very cooperating with them, but those people are not cleaning the drainage properly and all. And those people are putting what the drainage and sewerage, these things, they are putting nearby the road itself. If they take on the spot all the things properly, then this type of blockage won't be there.
So very clearly, though the corporation has been stating that they are doing enough, but what we see on ground is so different.
complex here in Porur and Chennai. It's absolutely inundated. You can see the residents. You're walking in knee-deep water. But because you're familiar with the area, you know where to walk. But essential services, milk, food, money, power, nothing seems to be here.
There is no problem for all these things, but for this water sagging.
Okay. But what about...
Because of the water sagging from that area is got damaged.
Correct.
So they had taken out the full and pumping it all the waters here. So it's coming here.
Right.
Also full entire campus is like.
So that means the ground floor has been flooded already here?
Yes, already. From the yesterday itself.
So people are moving to the first floor and staying, those who are on the ground floor?
It will happen now. It may happen after maybe in the evening or in the night.
But if it rains again the next 24 to 48 hours, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yes.
And what do you do then? Because basic essential services are not available.
We are purchasing sand, so putting it all in this. So now we are planning to put in the sand in here. So after that we have to drain the water first.
How do you drain the water? Because
there are two methods. One is that to dewater it through the pump. The other one is to keep sandbags so that water is not coming in and we'll take out the water also. That's what we are doing now.
We are here at the boat and at least about 60-70 of them have been rescued with at least about 8 to 10 of them who have been manned in this boat as well as swimming away to rescue all of these people. And what you see here is the boat that has been doing the rounds to rescue all the people and even the boat here at Saidapet.
It got from bad to worse for the Aam Aadmi marooned in Chennai. Essential supplies dried up, food prices skyrocketed, and phone services failed in most parts of the city.
no, all our cars are sunk, bikes are submerged. There's no way we can even come out of water. I literally swam out of my house just to get some groceries and get into the ATM, but the ATMs are closed. Nobody's accepting cards.
Nothing is going.
It's quite horrible that the situation. Even to buy water, even to buy drinking water, I don't have cash because for the past 2 days the ATMs are not working. Right.
I'm here at this petrol bunk in Chembarbakkam. Remember, this is the area from where most of the water is being released, and as you can see, quite a few people here because there are no petrol bunks which are actually functioning anywhere in Chennai, and there are people who have come from far off to just get petrol. These guys have just managed to get a little bit. How many ml?
100 rupees.
100 rupees.
Yeah.
And you feel happy that you got petrol?
We have to go to Kundatur.
Yeah. How far is that?
It's about 30 kilometers.
And this will suffice?
What?
This petrol will suffice?
Yeah. Today we can manage. But we don't have any petrol pump over
For how many days have you been not having any petrol?
2 days. But the petrol pump is mixed with water, they are saying.
For the third straight day, Chennai continued to be submerged. Streets were still waterlogged, bridges and roads have been washed away, and the airport was not functional. With more rains predicted in the week, the worst was not yet over. Locals were wading through knee-deep water to even get basic supplies. Arterial roads sunk and water from houses refused to recede. With no roads, traffic thrown out of gear, boats were being used as taxis.
There's a family here who's actually leaving this place and they're going to a safer place. It's very difficult for you, almost 5 feet, 6 feet water into your house, right?
Yeah, it's like because of the breakage of Chembarbakkam, all the water came in and we are unable to stay inside and yes, and all the water got mixed up and obviously there's no power and there's no current and obviously we have to move and all have started to evacuate the place.
The entire area has been without power for the last 48 hours and this family here right now has actually locked up their house and they have decided that they're not going to be coming here till the water recedes. But yes, a lot of lessons being learned in terms of how bad town planning can cause this kind of clogging right now.
What you see behind me is the road that leads up to Saidapet, and this is the kind of condition that you see right at the Tenapet signal. So if I zoom across, pan across and show you, that is the signal. Where you take a left, it takes you to T Nagar and right takes you to Eldams Road, and the road ahead is Mount Road. And this is the condition where the water runs up to the length of your knee. It's knee-deep water that we are talking of, people wading through this, difficult to get to the other side of this because Saidapet happens to be an important junction that connects to the airport as well as other areas like Gindi as well as Velacheri and the low-lying areas nearby there.
Even as rains abated during the day, excessive discharge of water from lakes on the outskirts flooded new areas of the city, threatening to uproot people from their homes.
When I started from the home, we really had to get to office to report about the scene, but I couldn't find an auto and the cars broke down and bikes broke down, so I really had to walk all the way from Adyar to Tenampet, which is just 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers, but it took nearly 2.5 hours because the entire road is blocked and you have to walk in the knee-deep water, and even we are standing in the knee-deep water, and people literally, all the traffic police have barricaded several junctions because the water has reached up to chest level.
With road, rail and air traffic cut off, hundreds of passengers were stranded at the Chennai railway station.
With the khana.
But with rescue operations kicking in, the first batch of those rescued arrived in the capital on Thursday evening.
Escaped by the skin of their teeth. That's how you would describe this batch of 108 passengers being brought to this Palam Technical Air Base of the Indian Air Force in the C-130 J series Hercules plane of the Air Force. That's right, you're seeing on your screens this first set of people, survivors who've been pulled out of Chennai, smiles on their face telling you in no small measure just what they've been through. They've been brought here. The Air Force essentially has now created two hubs. One at Palam Technical Air Base here in Delhi and the other at Begumpet in Old Hyderabad area. People are still trying to make sense of what you people have undergone. Anything in particular that stands out?
Well, there was no communication. There was one problem, no phone, no text messages. Very abruptly they were going. So that was no clear-cut direction from Air India. Very, very bad. They were not prepared for this. I understand that, this is a calamity, that's something like this. But sir, they had no plan to address that.
According to me, because this was my first natural disaster experience, I must say it's like, it was scary, but somehow it taught us many things, and we tried to help people out there. We were trying to distribute food out there in the compartments. So yeah, we're trying to, it's better that people out there learn that they have to help others who are actually stuck out there.
We are here in the Kutturpuram area of Chennai, very close to the Adyar River, a low-lying area which has got completely flooded. As you can see, lots of people being rescued on boats from this area. About 8 feet of water. In fact, yesterday there was about 15 feet of water till the first floor. The waters have receded, but people do not want to come out in large numbers, especially those who are living on the first and the second floor. For instance, this person, நீங்கள் வெளியில வரலையா, உங்க ஃபேமிலி எங்க இருக்கு இப்போ?
ஃபேமிலி 3வது மாடியில் இருக்கு. பாட்டி தாத்தா இருக்காங்க, அவங்கள வெளியே கொண்டு வர முடியாது. அதனால கொஞ்சம் பால், கொஞ்சம் எமர்ஜென்சி என்னென்ன தேவைப்படுதோ அதை எடுத்துக்கு கொஞ்சம் வெளியே போறேன். எதுவுமே இல்லை, அங்க 3 நாளா இருக்காங்க.
Okay, so what he's saying is that his grandparents are on the 3rd floor and they cannot be moved out, so he is going out to get milk and sugar and other essential commodities which would be useful for the family, but they refuse to get out because obviously they fear for the property inside, for the stuff which is inside the home, and they don't want to leave. And that's really the biggest challenge that the NDRF team who we are traveling with face. People do not want to leave their homes, and so you're finding it quite difficult to persuade them, right?
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, वो बाहर नहीं आना चाह रहे हैं. वो बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे पास आप खाना और पानी देते रहिए, हम बाहर नहीं आएंगे.
And this has been continuing now for some 2-3 days now.
Yes, बिल्कुल.
Alright, the latest news break coming in from Chennai, and the news is not good. What we are getting in is reports of heavy rains in Chennai, even as at the same time a Met Department warning has gone safe.
अनुपम